And here we go. It's dynamic kickoff, third season of this. And it's going to be into the end zone and a touchback. And so far, we've seen a lot more returns because of this kick. Mason Rudolph and Christian Kuntz. And a lot of new guys there. You see Jamel Dean, number 35, 3 years, $36 million. They brought him in to go opposite Joey Porter Jr. Jordan Love will get the start here tonight for Green Bay. And Charlie, last time we saw him here in Pittsburgh, man, he lit him up. He was 25 for 35, over 300 yards. Marshall Lloyd is in the backfield for Jordan Love. Signed that big contract a couple of years ago, and he's one of those guys who you know that he's in the game when he's in there. He makes things happen, and Watson's one of those guys who've been here for a long time, and there's a pass intended for Watson, goes incomplete. Asante Samuel Jr. is on coverage there.
You can see Asante Samuel, this is a guy who's benefited from the absence of Joey Porter Jr. here, and he's been putting on a solid camp. He's been in the league for a while now.
All right, now let's take a look at our forward impact players tonight. These are guys we expect to make an impact. Will Howard, Drew Aller, of course, those two quarterbacks, along with Peyton Wilson. He's coming into his own on the third season, and the rookie is Dalen Everett. And boy, he's been impressive in training camp. So here we go now, a big third down play, and 4 for Green Bay. Love in the shotgun over the middle of the field, has his man, and that's going to be first down and more for Jaden Reed. 19 yards on the game, and Reed is one of those guys that I expect big things from, former second-round pick 3 years ago.
You can see just inside leverage, will beat right on the inside. Nice throw by Love on the breaking route inside. Not much you can do there when you're playing man-to-man coverage, not much of a pressure there. Nice pickup for Green Bay.
Steelers with new coaching staff altogether, and throughout this broadcast tonight we will talk about some of those positions and people that Mike McCarthy has brought in. Lloyd once again this time trying to cut back, just gets a couple of yards, and the Steelers are there to get him. Peyton Wilson in the middle of that. Wilson, man, Charlie, he's a guy who's looked really good, and maybe an opportunity here for him to have a breakthrough season big time.
And that's what they're hoping for. This guy, he had 73 tackles last year, 2 sacks, 1 interception. This guy is as fast as any linebacker in the league, and they want to see those guys up front control the double team to allow him to run to the football for those tackles for loss.
Rayshon Jenkins also was brought here just about a week into the training camp season, replacing Darnell Savage. He's in the field right now, number 31. 2nd and 9 after the 1-yard gain. Love in the shotgun. In the flat, it goes to Josh Wiley. Doesn't have much there. Good defense for the Steelers. And that's Robert Spears Jennings, who was a 7th-round pick this year, and a guy who, out of Oklahoma, looking to make a spot for himself on this very talented defensive backfield.
There he is, and one thing that you see, both teams are going to want to throw to the tight ends right there. Josh Wiley, 4th year out of Cincinnati, but you see Jennings covering on that play. Young guy, they want to see him out here. That's why he got the start here today.
Wiley, tight end in there, along with Watson, Golden, and Jaden Reed for Jordan Love. Good defense by the Steelers. Again, Lloyd in the flat over there. Couldn't get away from the Steelers, and that's going to set up a 3rd down situation. Danico Slaughter. And he was an undrafted player from Jacksonville the Steelers picked up out of the University of Arkansas. He was right there fighting off Christian Watson to get it done.
He was. He read that screen right away, was able to hold off the receivers he was trying to block, and was able to force the tackle there. He started 13 games at Arkansas, and they want to see what he's capable of doing. He's an undrafted guy out of Jacksonville last year, and here he is with the Steelers.
All right, so right off the bat, we're going to get Trey Smack in the game. He's their kicker, trying this from 58 yards. And Smack has a good leg. We saw him in the pre-game warm-ups. He was hitting them from 60 and beyond. Snap is good, the kick is up, and plenty of leg, and it is good. And that's a 58-yarder to start this game, and there is a penalty flag down on the play, and we'll see what that is. As our referee tonight is Brad Rogers. Looks to be on the Steelers as they're walking toward Matt LaFleur. 58 yards, man. We saw some kicking last year as well. Cam Little down in Jackson, remember him? 70 yards.
Foul, roughing the snapper, defense number 98. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
All right, so that's Dean Lowry, who is roughing the snapper. You don't see that too often, and let's check it out here on the replay as Mike McCarthy looks at the big board as well.
And the league has done a Nice job of trying to protect the snapper. You can see Lowry right there. Referees in position, calls it immediately. That's something Mike McCarthy, you know, he's not excited about, because you go from 3 points, now give him a new set of downs, and that's not what you want defensively.
That's one of the things they've been clamping down on here, some of these rules that they've had, and they want to make sure in the preseason that some of the calls are made. And that was one of them that we saw stress. Marshawn Lloyd, once again, gets a couple of yards right there. So 3 points off the board, but still, if you're smacked, pretty good first impression in the preseason, 58 yards away. Alex Highsmith was there for the Steelers.
And this is one of the things he does well. He sets the edge on the outside, is in position, forces the cutback, is able to make the tackle. He finished last year with 9.5 sacks in 13 games. So this is something that he's going to want to continue to work on, especially when you add TJ Watt on the other side along with Nick Herbig on his contract extension.
Yeah, and I think Patrick Graham, the new DC, is going to be very interested in using these guys all over the place. And hopefully we'll see a lot of that during the regular season. That's Savion Williams in motion. Handoff up the middle, and that's going to Marshawn Lloyd once again. He was their third-round pick a couple of years ago out of USC. Set up a 3rd down and 3.
And the Steelers have been working a lot on 3rd down, making sure they get off the field. That was something that Mike McCarthy, along with defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, working and using that as a point of emphasis to say this right here has to be the down that we get off the field. Let's see if it transitions here today.
Y.A. Black, you saw him, number 94. He's a guy who is occupying people in the middle. They have him at nose tackle. He didn't play all that much there last year, but now they're going to use him there, it appears, as they move Benton to the outside more. And this is Love on 3rd and 3, firing. And a good defensive play once again, intended for Jaden Reed, and it's Asante Samuel Jr., who has really been matching up with DK Metcalf in camp, and that's been a great battle to watch, and he's had an outstanding camp.
Absolutely. He re-signed here in March, and 6 tackles last year, 1 interception, in position to make this play, understanding, hey, we're looking for the fade on the inside. They work a lot on that, able to get that right hand, knock it out. You can see the excitement by Samuels.
Yeah, beautiful play there. He's been doing that all along, and boy, what a comeback he's made from neck surgery that he had. All right, and this is going to be Trey Smack, this time from 37 yards. He was the 6th round pick this year, so they have high hopes for him, and he nails that one after hitting from 58. Moved closer at 37, and the first points on the board go to Green Bay. 3-0 with the Steelers coming back with football on offense for the very first time.
I have a chance to talk to him. Of course, we talk all things Pittsburgh, and he's only 5 minutes from my hometown of Homestead.
All right, Trey Smack with the kickoff, and this is Caden Weegan, one of their draft picks out of Iowa. Flags everywhere on this play. Eli Heidenreich was also back there. We're going to see him a little bit tonight, but Weegan's a guy who had all sorts of success numbers in the return game at Iowa. That's a 26-yard return. Once again, the referee tonight is Brad Rogers. We'll see what he has to say. Anxious to watch this offensive line, Charlie, because they got guys who've switched from right side to left side with McCormick and Fatanu. Frazier's just a tremendous center right now.
There are 2 fouls on the play by the return team, holding number 55. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Holding number 44, that penalty's declined. First down.
All right, so Steelers move backwards a little bit. You're going to see Jalen Warren in there, guy who did not fumble all of last year. One of the things that Mike McCarthy has with his Steelers, 6 ball securities at the top of the list. Roman Wilson in the game as well, and Mason Rudolph is your quarterback. 3rd round pick back in 2018. And Mason is, as I told you before, Charlie, one of these insurance policies as a backup to Aaron Rodgers.
And people, they recognize him around 9th year in the league, 8 years here with the Steelers, and he has the opportunity to run the first team offense. And let's see how he progresses here as the game goes on.
How about a fullback with an I formation? Riley Nowakowski was the guy, and he was blocking for Travis Homer. And this is an interesting player here because he does such good work in special teams. That's his strength. But he's also competing for a running back slot here as well.
And Travis Homer is a guy that really has taken advantage of all of the opportunities that he's had throughout. He's an 8th-year guy out of University of Miami, 85 regular season games. He knows how to get it done, and he wants to contribute more than just special teams.
Homer remains in the game here out of Miami, Florida. Seattle back in 2019, and he has made his way through with special teams work. Pressure and they get to Mason Rudolph. He is down, and that's going to be a loss on the play. And so now the Steelers go back even more after those holding penalties. Baron Sorrell was putting the pressure on, and eventually it was Lucas Van Ness and others up front.
He was brought down by Zaire Frazier. This guy has been in the league for a long time.
Right now it's 3rd and 14 for the Steelers. From their own 14-yard line, Green Bay with a 3-0 lead. 37-yard field goal for Trey Smack on their first possession. Quick hitter, and it goes to Jeremy Bernard. And the rookie tries to cut back inside, picks up some yardage, but not enough. And the Steelers are going to have to go 3 and out on their first possession. And Bernard's a young guy who's really trying to move right in. He's in a battle with Roman Wilson in that slot position.
You can see Bernard, I mean, just trying to pick up some yards to get you in better field position here. But he's a rookie out of Alabama. They feel very high about Bernard. But that's not the drive that you want coming out of it yet. Penalty to start on special teams and not able to pick up the first down on your first drive. So I know Mike McCarthy is not happy about that drive.
Sky Moore is out there to receive this punt by Cameron Johnston. And Sky Moore, obviously a guy from this area, knows a lot about that Shadyside Academy. And now we have another flag on the far side of the field. This is after the play was over. Let's see what this is. But that was a 51-yard kick from Cameron Johnston, who was back here before and now his second tour of duty. Yeah, Sky Moore is a very interesting story for sure.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 15 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
So we have a lot of penalties so far early in this game. This one on Ben Skoranek. When we come back, Green Bay with their second possession of the game. Tight ends for Green Bay. Taylor now moving to his left, firing, and pretty good coverage by the Steelers there. Alex Highsmith who's covering Marshawn Lloyd.
Talking about Tyrod Taylor, he's been in the league now 16 years out of Virginia Tech, and here he is in Green Bay.
You see the coverage there. Jamel Dean, another guy we expect, you know, because they have injuries. Jalen Ramsey's injured. Joey Porter has the back and dealing with the contract. These guys have got an opportunity to play him. He had a tremendous season at Tampa last year. He had 3 interceptions, and they gave him some nice money to be here. And it looks like a very deep secondary for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Savion Williams and Bo Melton now in offensively, along with Sky Moore. Tyrod Taylor floats it down the sidelines, and once again it's Asante Samuel Jr. covering Savion Williams, and there was no room there. He has been unbelievable so far in the training camp. Originally drafted by the Chargers, and then he had that surgery, the spinal fusion surgery. Steelers took a chance to have him come back, and he's been great.
And they were hoping that he bounced back from injuries. He's showing no ill effects of that injury, and they are very pleased with the Samuels here. When you just look at just his career, he was the first ever player in NFL history to record 3 interceptions in the first half of a playoff game. He did that in the 2022 season against Jacksonville.
All right, so here we go for the Green Bay now on 3rd and 10. So a quick hitter. It's going to be short of the first down to Bo Melton and the Steelers, along with linebackers like Wilson, along with Rashad Jenkins, combined on that tackle. And that's a nice 3 and out, so they will get it back.
You see Ben, nice pressure there. Trying to get to the quarterback before the screen was actually out of his hands, wasn't able to do so. But they like where Benton is at. He's battling Y.A. Black for that nose tackle position.
All right, Daniel Whelan is in to punt the ball away. And again, it's Caden Weechen back from Iowa. He was the 4th round pick this year, 2-time Big Ten returner of the year. And they're kicking this one over to the left side. He makes the catch with nowhere to go. Good coverage by the Green Bay Packers on that one. And Green Bay punts it away. It's 41 yards. And a tight end, you see Aaron Rodgers there, along with Brian Angelico, the offensive coordinator. Rudolph now back pushing, and there's pressure. It's coming quickly, and that Didn't give many moments there because Brenton Cox Jr. pushed back on that offensive line, and he got to him before any plays could develop down the field.
And Mason is trying to get rid of the ball quickly there, but the Packers secondary.
Sure, the #1 pick is not playing in this game, so that's a loss of 9, and it's 2nd and 19 on the 2nd sack of the night for Green Bay. Rudolph. Shotgun. Over the middle, has his man Jeremy Bernard. That gets back a lot of yardage there and set up a 3rd and much better there. Mervyn Kenyon the 3rd with the tackle. But Jeremy Bernard has come in here and spent all of his time at Georgia. It was really tremendous, or Alabama, I'm sorry.
And they're trying to find out that
64 catches last year.
Yeah, and they're trying to find that #3 receivers. He's battling with Roman Wilson to see who's going to be that starting slot.
Roman Wilson has been good in this training camp too. They're looking for him to take a step forward after last year not being a factor at all. And now 3rd down 5. Rudolph over the middle, fires, has his man, and that's Ben Skoranek. Skoranek on the play, gets a 1st down and much more. Mervyn Kenyon 3rd. It's an 18-yard completion and a Pittsburgh Steeler 1st down.
And this is how you bounce back offensive line. You give up a sack early, but yet you're now able to protect for Mason Rudolph. He's able to find Skoranek on the in route, picking up a big 1st down. Ben Skoranek last year made the Pro Bowl as a special teamers. He caught last year's first touchdown pass, so he is looking to be more of a weapon here in this offense.
And so far tonight, he's been in there a lot, making a difference. Handoff again goes to Travis Homer. Not much there. All right, we're going to take a look at the Citizen.
Build on this offseason, on this preseason to keep Bernard on the sideline.
Rudolph is now 4 for 4, hits Bernard again, and he turns it inside, still inbound, still going, legs going. And it's 1st down and more. Kenyon was there to make the play, but not before another big play by Jeremy Bernard. 24 yards on that reception.
He was not going down. Typically you would see that going out of bounds, but he said, no way, I am putting my shoulder down, getting up the field, able to break out of the tackle here. And this is what they enjoy. That's why they drafted him in the 2nd round, because of his playmaking ability. Started 34 games in his 53 games at Alabama and Washington, and, along with Michigan State.
Elite route runner, that's what they talked about. And he showed you that he can do it facing some pressure too. And there's a false start.
Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that's Troy Fatano. And with more on Jeremy Bernard, let's go down to Missy Matthews.
Well, guys, we found out on Steelers Nation Radio during training camp, Louis Lips was on the broadcast and said he's actually a distant relative of Jeremy Bernard, knows his grandfather really well. Jeremy said he chose number 17 because he was 5 in college. Ramsey has that one, but he loves Devontae Adams. Doesn't watch his highlights on YouTube. He watches games in the film room to take after him.
All right, 1st down and 15 after the penalty. Lou Nichols, who had a really good preseason last year, he gets the call there. A guy who led all FBS runners back in 2021, 1,800 yards on 341 carries. He gets 11 right there, so he got most of that penalty back and more.
And he spent last year on the practice squad. This guy knows how to run with the football. You can see the vision as he able to cut it to the left side there. Just mentioned talking about the rushing yards when he was at Central Michigan, played 32 games there. He's looking to build on what he's done.
Once again, it's Nichols trying to get that necessary yardage. And it's going to be 3rd and short. Darnell Washington trying to lead the pack there. Chris McClellan on the tackle for Green Bay. And we saw him last year. He led everyone in rushing in the 3 games with 87 yards. So you knew he was going to be somebody who could do it. You just look at his history, and Lou Nichols has a big one in college. 3rd and 2 now for Rudolph. Looking left, throwing, and getting his receiver 1st down yardage. That is Brandon Smith, who's another receiver who's had a pretty good training camp. He's been with the Jets the last couple of years. Aaron Rodgers had a chance to play with him there, and I think he likes him as well.
He does, and you can see his nice size as he's looking to build on everything you have. He's 6'1", 216 out of Iowa, and he's looking to kind of continue to build on what he's done. But again, spend some time with McCarthy, with the Cowboys, and now here he is joining the Steelers. This
Wilson,
is 15 here.
Yes, and Brandon Smith remains in the game after that reception. So now Rudolph in the flat goes to Homer, and he's met immediately and taken down. Nice Open field tackle right there for Mark Perry of Green Bay.
And people who aren't familiar with Travis Homer, he's played in 85 regular season games. He has 2 starts in his 7 years. He spent some time with Seattle, Chicago, and now here he is with the Steelers.
Mason Rudolph so far perfect on the night, 6 for 6, 71 yards. Second possession. Steelers with their best penetration so far, and this has been a long drive, and they got a big third down conversion earlier in it. 2nd and 7 now. Rudolph again rolling to his right now, looking down the field, finding along the sidelines, and that's Roman Wilson, who keeps his feet in bounds, and that's going to be close to first down yardage. Roman Wilson, who out of Michigan was their go-to guy when J.J. McCarthy was there. Tunyon, of course, has a history with Green Bay, Mike McCarthy as well as Aaron Rodgers. A little quick hitter, and it's a beautiful play there. Gets first down for Travis Homer. That continues this drive here. Mark Perry knocks him out of bounds, but not before they move the chains.
This is what you want to see. You collapse everybody inside. They're thinking run. You're faking the Homer as he now slips out into the flat, pick up an easy first down, setting up the Steelers here in the red zone.
And the Steelers want to they have some weapons in the red zone, and Mike McCarthy's talked about it quite a bit. Some big people. When Pittman and Metcalf are on the field, they're both 6'4". They've been looking for a number 2 to Metcalf, and this guy may be it. He's not in the game, of course, tonight, but look forward to number 11 during this regular season. Lou Nichols in the backfield once again. First down for the Steelers, and Nichols cutting the outside. Darnell Washington with a nice block, and there's a flag down on the play. Nichols gets in for the touchdown, but there may be a holding call on the Steelers on this one.
Holding, offense number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So once again, that's on Troy Fatano, who had the previous penalty. The illegal motion. This one is one that nullifies the points here, so the Steelers have been penalized 5 times now for 55 yards early in this first quarter.
And this is a tough one here. Troy is expecting that ball to stay on the inside, and when he bounces it out, that's where you see the arm extend. We don't have it on this particular angle here, but that's what happens when that play bounces out. It's unfortunate for Troy as he gets called for that penalty, taking away the touchdown.
Yeah, it was Dennis Sutton who was the guy he was engaged with there. Penn Stater, we have a lot of Penn Staters in this game, actually. Bernard back into the game now as Mike McCarthy calls the plays, and that's the difference. He loves to call his own plays. He's going to take a timeout here, but Angelico, when he talk about the offense, he's the guy who calls the plays.
In this,
Buzz, do you want middle PAT or right? Middle right.
All right, we're going to take a break here. Steelers knocking on the door, down 3-0. That could change here late first quarter. You remember this drive started with a sack, and they were 9 yards back at 2nd and 19, and now a little slant pattern that goes to Jeremy Bernard, gets some of that yardage back. Rudolph is now 8 for 8, Charlie, 3 for 3 on third down.
And Bernard did a nice job of setting up as if he was going to go fade, came right back in on a beautiful slant route.
And on that play,
This is the end of the first quarter.
we have come to the end of the first quarter. The only points, Trace Mack with a 37-yard field goal, but the Steelers, as I say, are knocking on the door. Second quarter